All right, and we are live. Look at that. Look at this.
What?
Rob and Jon Show is back. We weren't sure if it was going to
Hey,
happen.
John, how are you?
What's up, Mr. Rob? It's been a while. It's been a
It has. It has.
whole like
For
I don't
you
know
and
how many hours.
yeah, for you and I, it's been 16 hours. But for everybody else out there, it's been a week.
Yeah,
Hi man, how are you?
I'm good. We keep busy. Look at it. We got some people joining us already. That's awesome. Thank you for joining us. We're on YouTube and Facebook this time. Keep in mind there is possibly a 10-second delay before we see your comments.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I just got the notifications popping up on my tablet about and on the computer here. It says go to Heroes World and watch Heroes World Online live on YouTube. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, wait, that's us. So yes. I'm not going to do that. And also I have to be cognizant of the fact that the camera I have is here, but you're down here. So I keep looking down to talk to you. But then now looking at this angle, I look like I'm looking lovingly at you going,
Look at this. Yeah, I should switch our screens. So you're on this side. Well, we're working out. We got some new tech guys, so we're testing it out.
Actually, I picked up some new stuff. I got myself a new microphone. I went and bit the bullet on a new lighting system and just changed it up a little bit. So figured, what the heck? So it was actually, this is like the test run to see how things are going.
Yeah, you're looking mighty pretty, Rob. Look at this.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, dude. We're getting some decent feedback here. Andreas, I like how you guys cater to my schedule. Hey, man, when John and I were talking about doing a show tonight, we said, what time do you think
Andreas free?
Will be available? And so I'm really glad it worked out well for you. Look at
we got some shout outs to Rob almost knocking over his stuff. But let's get into it. We're adding a little more structure to the beginning of the show, and this might hopefully become something else. We had something else planned for today, but that fell through. But we're back here, me, Rob, and I, to bring you the Rob and Jon Show.
That's right.
All right. One last time, or not,
or maybe not. Who knows? Hard to say. Just like the Fast and Furious franchise, John, things keep on rolling. I got some news, bud. Some news that's dropped in the last week or so. So I tried to cherry pick the most important aspects of what was happening. So I got something for you. You ready? I'm going to start off. Should we start with the bad news first?
You always go bad first, right? You go bad first and then you go good. That's just the way
like
you have
in
to do
college. Okay. So Frosh week. All right. Hey, I'm talking about Wonder Woman 84 being delayed for the 6th time. That's right.
Is this
6th time. Six times.
Wow.
This has now usurped the New Mutants as being the most delayed comic book movie. It's been rescheduled 6 times. So it's now moved from October the 2nd to December 25th, Christmas Day. Does anybody want to take a guess as to whether or not they're actually going to release it on Christmas Day? I don't know. What do you think?
I think they're at least going to make a decision. Like maybe it'll hit digital by then, but yeah, it's hard to say, man. Like a lot of people are saying like November, December thing. We're going to see whether this goes crazy or not. So it's another mystery. I can't believe this is the 6th time. So original date was June. Was it originally June?
No, actually, the original date was November of 2019. And then it got pushed to, I believe, and now I'm going to have to go ahead. Sorry. I think it was July of 2019. Then it went to November of 2019. Then it went to was it March or May? And then it moved to July. Then it moved to October. And now we're into December 25th. So I'd actually have to just double check that. But I know for a fact it was November of 2019 was I think the 2nd time because they had.
I know I saw a poster that said August at one point.
You're just making that up.
No, I did. I saw it. You can look it up online. Wonder Woman poster, and you'll see August was one of the dates for it.
So listen, man. My feeling is this: I get that we're in the middle of a pandemic, beginning, going into a new wave. I have no clue where we are with things anymore in the world. All I know is this, is that I really want to see this movie. I went to the theater, my local theater out here in East GTA. I saw Tenet. I loved it. I loved going to the theater. There were 6 people. My wife and I were 2. There was 4 other people in that theater. I would have totally gone to see Wonder Woman on October the 2nd. Now I can't. And now we have to wait till Christmas Day. I think I might be otherwise busy that day, which means I'm going to have to see it on Boxing Day.
No, you're not. There's nothing.
And then
you open the gifts in the morning, and then you literally have nothing else.
Then I get the hell out of there.
So there's a lot of people who will go see a movie.
I guess my question is: will this be a theater release, or will it be a theater and digital release, or will it be no release at all? So that's where we are. Wonder Woman 84 is delayed. It's really. To me, it's pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's pissed me off because I actually think and I'm not a doctor, and maybe there's a doctor in the house, Scott, but I tend to think that potentially we are going to be worse off in December than we are now. So why not go have people go out now to get this to watch the movie? But that's just me. Next is are you a gamer?
I try to be. You know this.
I was setting you up. I was going to nut you, but I'm not going to. Okay, so listen. We're at the end of our life cycle, right? Not you and I, but I mean we're at the end of the current generation life cycle. Xbox One X and the PS4 have now entered into the retirement home phase. They are going to be phased out in the next couple of years, and in just a few short weeks, we are going to be having the new Xbox. I think it's called the Xbox S. And then the PS5. Now, interestingly enough, Xbox, I don't know if they meant to do it, but the prices got leaked out. And there's 2 versions. There's like the Xbox. I really guess I should have remembered what the titles were, but there's a big one that looks like a giant, like a beer fridge. And then there's a really tiny one. And the tiny one doesn't have the same computing power, but it's still decent. And it's $379 in Canada, or $299 in the US. And that is a steal for that system. The more advanced one that has a 4K gaming, I think it's got 15 teraflops of computing, like a GPU in there. That's going for about, in Canada, I think it's close to $600. So that's an investment, and it only comes with 1 controller and no games. But that's coming out holiday season.
All the systems notoriously do that, though. They give you 1 controller, and they know.
Well, not the original NES, man. The original NES package came with Duck Hunt and Mario, and it came with the light gun. So, they've definitely slipped and changed up their marketing on things and how they. What's the point? They should give you at least 1 game. At any rate, I digress. PlayStation is dropping their information on Wednesday, their big Sony event, and we'll find out the pricing on their systems. They are also going to have 2 systems. They're going to be exactly comparable to one another. The only difference is one will have a optical drive and one will be all digital. Generally, those are about a $50 difference. So I guess the question is, will Sony release the all digital to match the Xbox One or the Xbox S price at $379 or not? Because I'm going to tell you, we know that there are hardcore Sony fans. We know there are hardcore Xbox fans, but the casual gamer, the parent who is looking to get their teenage or their tween a new system this Christmas or this holiday season may not want to spend $500 on a Sony when they can get for $379 an Xbox system. As well, Xbox has got this new Game Pass. So you're paying, I know it's like a Netflix subscription. I think in Canada it's $17 a month. But you're playing brand new games day and date of release. There's no more, you don't have to go and buy these games or download the entire game for $80. You're playing it. So you work that into the price of that system. That is considerable savings overall on what you're getting for entertainment value.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, and especially for guys like me who have like gamer ADD, who's like switching game to game, right? I can try the new whatever Gears of War, and then I can switch over to whatever other game.
Yeah, because you're not one to start and finish a game. That's just in knowing, and after having sent
you try it, you see if you like it. Yeah,
right. After having sent you a number of requests to game together, I know that you're not an individual who, first of all, who doesn't respond, and second of all, who just doesn't play games all the time. Andreas wants to know what systems are the two. So here's the thing, Andreas. I have a PS4. I had a PS1. I went to the Xbox, the original big black Xbox. I went to the 360, then I jumped back to Sony for the PS4. I'm kind of torn. I've had two of each system. I like the Sony exclusives way more than I like the Xbox exclusives. I'm a big fan of the Uncharted stuff. I like Naughty Dog releases. The Rockstar. I mean, I know they're not exclusive. The Spider-Man with the Sony stuff. So my heart kind of tends to lead towards the PlayStation. But as a married guy with a mortgage, a dog, and 2 kids, I will have a very difficult time convincing my wife to allow me to buy a $600 PS5, which is what I think we're going to be looking at as of Wednesday. So I might have to wait. I'm not an early adopter. Are you guys? I'm not. I like to usually wait about a year or so for them to iron out the bugs, because the last thing I want is a 2021 Red Ring of Death fiasco like we had with the Xbox.
Oh man, yeah, the multiple versions. I have been an early adopter, so I did get the PS4 and this Xbox One on launch. I don't know what possessed me to do so, because I'm like you said, I'm not that hardcore into games. I just got caught up in the craziness. So it did not pay off. The PS4 sat for a long time.
Yep.
And the Xbox One, I did get some games in, but I ended up pretty much abandoning my Xbox One after like maybe a year or so, and playing exclusively my PS4. So as of this moment, I don't have either of them pre-ordered. I don't know if they're taking pre-orders yet. I guess they haven't announced prices.
So I don't think Xbox, Microsoft are doing pre-orders just yet. I think we are going to find out really soon, though, as to what they're doing. The other thing I want to mention before we move on to the next topic is that the one thing I like actually about Xbox is that they've announced this program where, much like your phone, whether you're with Fido, Rogers, whoever, Bell, or Freedom, you can actually now pay a monthly fee for either one of those systems. And it works over 24 months. So you're financing it, same way you do with your phone plan. And I think it's about $30 a month, depending on the system that you want to choose. Now, obviously, it exponentially increases the amount of that system. So at the end of your 24 months, you're not paying for the Xbox S $379. I think it works out to like $6 something. But they're throwing in that Microsoft Game Pass as well for that 24 months. It's worked into your monthly fee. So all of a sudden, people might be like, okay, actually, I don't really mind paying $30 a month for the whole system plus the Game Pass together. That's really enticing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, as a guy who aforementionedly said I have a wife, 2 kids, a dog, and a mortgage and everything else, $30 a month for a new system plus the Game Pass is really enticing. So I do, as somebody who has to budget around things, that intrigues me. I want to see what Sony does though, with their event on Wednesday at 4:00 Eastern time.
Yeah, this week.
Yes, John, Wednesday.
Jerk.
Yeah, so that's that. Comic book news. Brian Michael Bendis, the person, myself included, who thought he was going to come to DC to save all that was wrong, is ending his Superman in Action Comics run, or just, I guess, Superman, all things Superman, as of December. So Bendis is gone, not from DC, but just off of Superman. No idea if he's continuing with Legion of Superheroes. No idea what he's got planned next, but his Superman run will be finished by mid-December. Also, as a side note, Josh Williamson is off the Flash as well. His run, no pun intended on the Flash, I think it ends in November, beginning of December as well. So, what do you? I got everything flipping off here. What do you think about that? Is that something that intrigues you? Are you happy?
I'm interested to see where he goes next. I think maybe Superman wasn't the best fit for him, although some of the stuff that he did do was really good, especially the early stuff. But I look forward to seeing him potentially, and I don't know what else you would put him on. Like, I feel like a team book would work for him, or maybe something brand new.
He's doing Legion. I read the first couple of issues, and I left it. I'm leaving it at that. So I wasn't an overly a big fan. I know that a big fan though, a friend of the stores of here, Arun Singh over at Boom Studios. I think Bendis has worked him as a character into the book. I saw that Arun was tweeting about that just a few weeks ago. So that's kind of cool for if you get to have your own character in a Legion of Superheroes card.
Yeah, can't argue with that, man.
No, but so yes. Anyway, I don't know who I want on Superman after this. I'm not. I gotta say, when I think of Rebirth on, and Bendis's run is part of that overall Rebirth since it's 2016. I really liked the Tomasi Gleason Superman run. Like I really liked what they did on that book. And I read most of Bendis's run. I guess shy of 6 months. It just made me want to read the Gleason Tomasi stuff more. So I wasn't overly hot on what Bendis was doing. I don't think he would make good Batman. Can I give you what I would like to see him on?
Yeah, for sure.
Wally West Flash. I think
Flash is your boy too.
An amazing Wally West Flash. Yeah. Because personally, I actually am not a big fan of Barry Allen. I think the Wally West Flash that we all had from the late 80s into the 90s and 2000s is far better than Barry Allen. Just not a Barry Allen fan. I know why they have to have Barry Allen because of the show and the movies and all that. I would prefer Wally West, to be honest with you. So that's just me. But that's what I'd like to see.
I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people were really.
And last for news, came out today. So Tuesday is Jonathan Majors, who is he's in that new Netflix movie Defy Bloods, but he's right now starring in Lovecraft Country on HBO or Crave in Canada. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard amazing things about this show. He has been cast, it looks like, to star in Ant-Man 3. Do you want to take a guess as to who? Who's it going to be?
I know who it is.
Okay.
It's Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. Yes. I didn't like that's crazy to me that listen, man, what type of a world do we live in where they're announcing Kang the Conqueror is going to be in a movie? Like, who would have thought that this would, as kids growing up, we would have seen that this is what we're getting? That to me is nuts.
Sorry, my daughter's interrupting here. Hey. Yeah, it's but sorry. I'll let Rob take over.
Oh, and John is gone. So let's talk about John, everybody. Let's everybody make a comment about things that you like about John or don't like about John. That's fine. No, I haven't seen Lovecraft Country. It's on my list of things to watch. This actually, kind of dovetails into a topic that I wasn't planning on talking about. But do you prefer the binge model or the weekly model? And the reason I ask is that I know that The Boys season 2 dropped their first 3 episodes, and they've been weekly ever since. I haven't watched it yet because I kind of feel like I don't want to wait. And I know that sounds like a petulant child, and I'm always preaching to my kids that they need to have patience, but I'm 44 and I don't want to have patience. I want to watch the shows when I want to watch them. I'm used to the binge model, and I don't think I would be patient enough for The Boys to watch on a weekly basis. So what about you? What are you guys and girls doing? Are you watching The Boys on a weekly basis, or are you going to wait for it to binge? That's kind of the idea of what I'm doing with Lovecraft Country. I'm going to wait for it all to drop and kind of binge it all at once because I've heard some amazing things about it, and I just don't think I can wait week to week to watch it.
I've watched 2 episodes of The Boys so far. It's kind of slow for me. I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in how they're feeling about it. But
well, first, before we're getting some people are actually responding, but before we do that, John makes a great Wonder Woman. It's a thing of nightmares.
So it's you just hate it. Release the John Ho cut. That's what also people are saying.
if people aren't familiar with what we're talking about, definitely go and check out the Heroes World Facebook page. John decided to insert himself into the Justice League movie as a stills. And the Wonder Woman, Jon Ho Wonder Woman, is honestly, it's right up there with like like Freddy Krueger in terms of like the nightmares coming to get you. That's it's
so Lewis is gonna wait like you. It seems like binge is gonna be everybody going. Yeah, a lot of people catching up. Sorry, we're just catching up on some of the comments here.
Yeah, so Lewis says he's holding off. The boys are going to wait till it's all out. Exactly. You know what? I took a look to see how long it's going to take for them all, and then we're talking into October, which
they had scheduled dates for every episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So today's September the 14th, which October is not that far away, but it feels a lot farther than I'm willing to want to accept. So I'm just gonna wait for it to binge. I really want to see it, but I think I have to wait for it all to finish to binge it. Jonathan says he thinks I am more okay binging something if I know it's like 8 episodes. Yeah, that's a good call, because you know what? I think if you were watching anything on regular cable, like if it was like NBC, ABC, CBS, where those shows usually go 22, 24 episodes a season. Yeah, you're right. That's definitely a weekly. You don't want to binge that, because that would just take you. Actually, I know how long it will take you. Because you want to know how I know this, John? Back when 24 was out, I used to buy the DVDs and would rewatch them before each new season. And so one year I got season 4 for Christmas, and I watched it a couple of days before season 5 came out, which was in like a January. It is exactly 18 hours. So I watched it over 2 days, and my wife was thoroughly disgusted with me. But 18 hours to watch 24 episodes. So there you go.
Can you? I don't know if anyone knows if Amazon or Netflix has the feature to watch at a faster speed than is normal, but you could binge through stuff. But I watched 24 live, and it was an amazing experience live. I did get the DVDs, and I never ended up ever rewatching it or going through those again. So
really?
I don't know what that has to say about it, but it just wasn't as exciting when I wasn't able to come in and talk to people. Oh, what do you think is going to happen between the next episode, and the kind of anticipation. Sorry, I got. This is why late at night is bad. Okay,
I binge watched every season of 24 a couple of times. Like I've seen that show. Except for the last 2 seasons, I saw between season 1 to 6 or 1 to 5 about 4 or 5 times. Like it's pretty disgusting how often I've watched 24. Lost is another one that I will sit down. I can binge. I've never hid my love for Lost. So I will watch Lost. I will binge it. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, I think, Scott said Umbrella Academy was about 10 and that was doable. Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, the antithesis to my own argument was Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is what you had to watch it weekly because that's how it was released. And it was like water cooler talk. Like back in the 90s, Seinfeld water cooler talk, you had to watch it weekly. So, everyone sounds like Mickey Mouse in double speed.
They do. Or the Chipmunks.
So that's all I got for news, John.
All right. So that is our news portion. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening at the store this week. I'm going to try and do it with my daughters of being cut loose, apparently. So I'm trying to try and do it with them around. I don't know if they're really loud on there. Izzy, quiet down. All right, so a couple quick hits. So Image, Old Guard Volume 2 is dropping this week. Force Multiplied. A lot of people have been looking forward to that.
Trade?
Trade paperback.
Okay.
Isabella. Okay. Next,
this is great.
So Boom Studios, our boy Arun and his crew, they're dropping 2 new books this week. Once in Future, number 11, which is one of my favorite books right now, and 7 Secrets, number 2. So a new book that they started.
Okay.
And then now on to the big boys. Marvel has Tony Stark going back to basics in a brand new Iron Man number 1. So the Tony Stark Iron Man has wrapped. They're doing a brand new back to basics Iron Man, and he's going to be throwing on old school armor. So not the kind of nanotechy futuristic stuff that he's used to, which I'm actually pretty excited for. I like his kind of like building stuff, and it's a little more tactile and the old school armors. I think I'm really gonna like that instead of him just being able to manifest anything he wants.
Yeah,
and then
the thing about the Infinity War and Endgame Is like he was just anything he wanted, he was creating because of the nanotech. And you're right, there is something to be said about like he purposefully planned to have things, right? Like the missile gauntlets and everything else. So
yeah, and pieces maybe falling off or getting damaged and
Yep.
and stuff like that. It feels like there's a little more on the line instead of just like, oh, now this is fixed via nanotech. So I hope that's the direction they're going. That's what they've touted it as. It's got art by a guy named Cafu, who's a short form for like a long Spanish name, but he's been around for a while, and it's done DC work, Marvel work. So if you can see the preview pages online, it looks really good.
Okay, cool.
And then DC's got 2 big books coming out. So they've got Detective Comics 1027. It's a big kind of milestone issue, a tribute to Detective Comics 27 that Batman first appeared in, I believe.
Yeah.
Going to be over 12 different covers for this. It's a bigger, thicker, prestige format book. And I guess it's going to have multiple writers and artists kind of contributing to it. And they also are releasing Batman 99 as well. So now we're on the 1 issue away from that Batman 100 that's going to drop in October 6th, I think. So this is the Joker War is coming to conclusion. So this is part 5 of 6. So Tinian the 4th, and Jimenez doing art, who's doing an amazing job. Like he if you watched him during the DC fandom panel, his Joker War stuff, he's saying it's his greatest work, and it definitely looks like it is. So
yeah, I was a big fan of his art with Scott Snyder on the Justice League run they did. I thought it was great, and you're right, for this Joker War stuff, it fits. It fits what Tinian is writing. It's perfect. So yeah, I'm really stoked for that. The Detective 1027. Is this the one that was kind of it will have a short story in there that might have tied into, do you remember the 5G nonsense we were hearing about last year?
Oh, like the,
and I don't mean the cell service.
Really, yeah.
I'm talking about like the DC 5G, right? I think that this story that's in here is, I think it ties into that what was supposed to be part of that 5G initiative. So I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. So
yeah, and I know it's a bunch of different stories.
What's that?
I know it's like a bunch of it's going to be a collection of different works and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. And then DC is also dropping the Curse of the White Knight hardcover. So if you missed that series, that was a follow-up to Batman White Knight. Curse of the White Knight is coming out in a very nice hardcover. So you're going to have to wait a little longer for a soft cover. A lot of the issues you can still find, but it's going to come out a very nice hardcover this week. So that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
So that's all the comic stuff. Other than I don't know if Rob, we talked about. Did you talk about Catwoman Batman?
No, we didn't.
So let's let Rob jump in here.
So the last Batman Catwoman by Tom King, Michael Janin. Number 1. This was teased obviously towards the end of King's run on Batman, how he had proposed to Catwoman, and I think it was issue 50, and then she spoilers, she left. They didn't get married, and then it was all,
it was on the news. Yeah, it was on the news. The news spoiled it before the book was even out.
Yeah, he was everywhere, right? And then you got into the City of Bane storyline and everything else. And then King kind of was just, he wasn't let go from the Batman line, but all of a sudden it was abruptly ended. And they were just getting into this Batman Catwoman reconciliation. So they decided to make it a 12-issue limited series now to kind of finish off. So continuity-wise, it's kind of weird because somehow it actually kind of shoehorns in between King and Tinian's Batman run. But even though when Tinian's first issue, and I don't remember what number, I wanted to say 86, 84. Anyways, it kind of mentions
in that range, 84, 85, 86.
Yeah, so it kind of mentions about there is some connectivity in the thread with what happened with Tom King's run. So I don't know how they're going to make this all work. Whatever, man. December the 1st, it's coming out. Batman Catwoman by Tom King, Michael Janin, who I got to tell you, I love Michael Janin's art. His art is, is it Michael Janin or is it Clay Mann? Now I'm second guessing myself. Anyways, both of them are tremendous artists. My question to you, though, John, is this too little too late? like I think that they were working on this for quite some time, and so obviously I think it needs to be released. But if it's already in the bag and it's done, would this be better served as a Black Label series, like 3 issues, kind of like 3 Jokers, or as one complete story, like a trade? Because it's kind of like, is Tom King done with Batman? Like, do we need to go back?
The hype has definitely died down. I remember around the time when they wrapped up and said he was done with Batman, everyone was really excited for it. They're like, oh, he's going to get Batman, Catwoman to kind of cap it off and be able to finish his run. So a lot of people were really hype about it and asking about it and added it to their pull list. And now we're like, I don't know how far away from it, because now we've had this whole lockdown and all this stuff happen between when this is going to happen now. So I suspect a lot of people have forgotten about it, but it's a Batman book. Everyone's going to look like Batman books are going to be fine.
Right.
So I think people are going to tune in, but yeah, it does bring in the question, should they turn it into a Black Label 12-issue maxi series or something like that? But
so it's Clayman, not Michael Janin. So yeah, it's Clayman. I think he worked with Tom King on the Heroes in Crisis stuff, and he did do a fair amount of King's Batman run. So Clayman artist, his art is amazing. I do quite enjoy it. You're right. I don't know. The one thing that does intrigue me though is that they're actually bringing in the Phantasm, like from the Mask of the Phantasm. Is Andrea? I can't remember her name. Beaumont. Andrea Beaumont.
Oh yes.
I was trying to look it up and I couldn't get to it in time. Yeah, but Andrea Beaumont, she will be making a return. I guess a proper integration into the DC universe, and will be the Phantasm, the Mask of the Phantasm, and square off against Batman. So that's kind of cool. I have to say, it's kind of cool. I was a fan of Tom King's Batman run because it was so vastly different than what we had with Snyder Capullo, whose run I absolutely love. Like I want to get my hands on that omnibus because I love that Snyder Capullo run. I really respected Tom King's because it was just so different, but it was pretty cool as well. Like it was a thinking man's book, and maybe that kind of might have been his downfall, that it was very light on the action, a lot of introspective thought.
It's a lot of like mental things.
Yeah.
PTSD ideas and stuff like that.
Right. But I'll be honest with you, John, I would like to see this in, like, why not release it as like a $30 premium format book? Right. Like,
yeah, one shot. Yeah. Especially if it's done. If it's done now, like even 3 Jokers could arguably have been a very nice prestige hardcover drop. But we're getting a ton of Joker covers, so I'm not really going to complain about that one, and the book is gorgeous. So but this one, yeah, you could, or at least 2 big volumes or something like that. Like,
yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, collect it. Yeah, volume 1, volume 2. Release them within 4 months of each other, right? Like, yeah. I think that probably would have been the way to go. I'm intrigued. Mm-hmm. Am I intrigued to want to get 12 floppy issues? I don't know. What about you guys?
Well, the time between waiting for those issues to come out, it might lose even more steam at that point. So I think the idea of collecting it and releasing it in a bigger shot would be cooler. Unfortunately, yeah, Frazier, the Batman Beyond title, I believe, has been kiboshed. So DC continues their cutting of books that are not as hot as the rest of their line. I'm not surprised. The book is done okay for us. There's a lot of diehard fans who want to follow Terry McGinnis and stuff like that, but I guess not enough at this time.
Our friend of the shop, Tim, who's been on the podcast a few times, he just got married this past Friday, and the news of Batman Beyond being canceled dropped. Sorry, he got married on the Saturday, and the news came out on Friday about it being canceled. And I sent it to him on Friday night. And I was
You're so mean. You're so mean.
I know you're getting married tomorrow, and I know it's a really happy day, but I hate to tell you this. Batman Beyond's canceled. So I'm just that kind of a jerk, I guess.
Friggin' guy. Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up our comic portion. We are getting some new toys at the shop. We are getting the Marvel Legends Spider-Man vintage line this week. So we're getting their carded retro style figures. You get Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Electro, Green Goblin, a Mysterio, and Gwen Stacy in action figure form. And you do get a Daredevil with the Scott McDaniel gray costume with the armor on it and stuff, which is kind of a fun figure. And then we do have a full stock of G.I. Joe classified line. I got some of those here. They're really cool.
Oh, nice.
So we got a bunch of those in stock right now. So if you're looking for toys, it's been a huge toy last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll mention happening at the shop is we do have the new Magic set. The pre-release is happening this weekend. So since we can't run a tournament right now, it's a take-home pre-release. So you'll be able to come. You'll be able to get these cards, getting them a week early before they release in the special pre-release package. So we will have those ready for Saturday. And that's pretty much all I got. That's coming down at the store. I'm sure we got a lot of. Oh, there's a new D&D book coming out. The Icewind Dale new Icewind Dale book. A lot of people are excited for that as well. So that's pretty much all I got for new stuff coming at the store. I don't know if Rob has any other questions about that stuff.
I was going to ask: is the G.I. Joe, because you're saying that the figures have really kind of caught like fire in the last little while? Do you think that is that potentially tied to the new Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe comic, Snake Eyes comic that Liefeld's doing, or is it just coincidental?
No. People have been waiting for these figures. This is like the new kind of definitive size. So if you don't follow a lot of action figures, this 6-inch size, the Marvel Legends and a lot of the DC figures are around the 6-inch is the most popular size right now. They did actually, I just saw some people posting pictures. They did release a retro carded line of the 3.25-inch figures that look really cool. I don't know if we're going to be able to get those. If we can, we definitely will. But I hear they're hitting the shelves in the States. Everything's gone crazy. We got G.I. Joes. We got new lines for He-Man. Like if you're a toy collector, it's an expensive time.
The 80s are back. But you know what?
Yeah.
I came to you I went to the shop and I came into you and I said about 2 years ago, and I was like, do they not have G.I. Joe figures anymore? Because my brother-in-law is in the army, and he was deployed, and we wanted to get my nephew he wanted army guys. He was, I think, 3. He wanted army guys like his dad. And so they had canceled the G.I. Joe line was done. You couldn't get it.
It was MIA for a good chunk of time. So yeah, so people have been waiting for these new G.I. Joe merchandise.
That's awesome.
For a while. Yeah.
First of all, those look amazing. I might be trading that Snake Eyes. That Snake Eyes looks sick, I gotta say.
Yeah, they're really nice figures, very articulated. A quick shout out to Necromunda. We're working on Necromunda stuff at the shop. People love it. It's a RPG Games Workshop kind of style game. A lot of people getting into it. You want to start talking about the podcast, Rob, or did you have anything else?
Oh, we can answer some of these questions if you want.
There was one at the top here. They were asking if we listened to the Justice League score. And that I guess that leads into our podcast a little bit. So tomorrow's podcast is DC Fandom Part 2, which this new Justice League Junkie XL score, he released a snippet of it. So we have our reaction, but you're gonna have to tune in tomorrow for our Heroes World podcast to find out.
It's very timely comic book Craig movies. Very timely, but yes, definitely that episode drops tomorrow. Is on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. You should get it if you subscribe to on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, which you should be. You'll get the notification tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Cool. And then let's see, what else do we get? Joker War stuff. We have a lot of it in stock, Andreas. So if you do want that, hit me up with a message. I can put those aside for you. Some of the early, I think Part 1 might be a second print, but I'll see.
You know what's really funny though? You know, there used to be a time where everybody we were, myself included, were going crazy for first print issues, and now sometimes these second print issues are more expensive than the first print issues, right? Because of the different covers that they're using. People they're more in demand. It's crazy.
If you think about it, in theory, a second print is always going to have a lower production number than the original printing, so it's always going to be rare. But now some companies are doing, especially Marvel. They're sneaking in a variant cover, or if a new character has appeared in the issue, sometimes they're slapping that on the cover now, and now you have the first cover appearance of that character. So the speculators market is driving these second, third, fourth printings up, and some of them, like some of them even have like secret variants and stuff like that. It's getting a little nuts. But if you like that kind of thrill of the hunt, and like to go nuts like that, there's some exciting stuff for you.
Are we getting back into the 90s comic where everybody was collecting everything, all the different foil covers, variant covers, titanium covers, and all that other stuff?
Oh man, yeah, the shiny covers, yeah, those were pretty hot.
Lewis has a question about how much of DC was on the chopping block. That is a good question, Lewis, and that's one that I don't think anybody really knows. I feel we talked about this in the podcast a couple weeks ago, right, John? We talked about the DC bloodbath, and I feel like they said they were cutting. It was more than a.
Sounded like the 20-something percent.
25% of their line, if not maybe a little bit more. So that just goes. There's been a fair amount of titles that have been already been canceled. I think Shazam's done as well. I think after John's, I think there's somebody else is picking it up for a couple issues, and then that's it. Batman Beyond, and there was a few others. I can't think off the top of my head what they were. But yeah, they're toast.
Hopefully, people still read Scott.
Well, what did he say? He likes collecting. Oh,
he said whatever happened to just reading them. But yes, I hope people are reading them, because we are in an age where the writing and art is like so, like, kind of, I feel like it's really up there right now. So back in the day, there was a lot of gimmicky, like shiny covers, like Andrea says, shiny covers suckered them in. There was a lot of that going on, a lot of very nice covers, but the content on the inside didn't quite live up to the hype on the outside.
Yeah.
So now we have these books that are incredible inside and out. So I really hope people are reading them as well. But everybody collects in their own way.
It is kind of funny. I was rebagging and boarding my stuff I felt like 10 years ago, but it was just over the holidays this year. And it was funny going through all my stuff, how many of those foil covers I ended up buying. So yeah, man, I think it was Lewis who asked that question, or Andreas. It suckered me in too, man. I was like fished in Wayne's World style. I was such a mark. I was like, if the sunlight gleamed off it and rainbow colors came off, I was like, give it me. I want them all. Yeah. So yeah, I hear you.
Oh man. So Jonathan Yo asks, where are the titles coming out of House and Powers of X at? I believe the newest X-Men is at issue 11, and all of them kind of keep the same numbering. So almost everything is at around issue 11. They took a break. They paused pretty much all the X books during the lockdown, and they slowly kind of started resuming them. And around the corner is the X of Swords, or 10 of Swords, whatever you want to call it. I want to say it's September. We're already in September, October. That'll be out very soon, and that's going to cross over every X book. So every part of it is going to be a different X book.
Yeah, I feel like there was. What's the hype on that one, John? On the X of Swords or 10 of Swords or whatever.
A lot of people have added it to their pull list. So if you do come to us at Heroes World, definitely add it to your pull list and get your name on there. I think a lot of people might have forgotten about it, or feel like they have to catch up on X-Men, whatever, 1 to 11. But I think once it drops, everyone's gonna go crazy for it.
And what happened with Empire? Is that done now?
Empire is on issue 6, and I believe I want to say that's it. But unfortunately, Empire is it kind of just flew under the radar with all the craziness that's happening. All 6 issues dropped within a couple weeks between us reopening and the point we're at now. So a lot of people have missed out on it, but it's a good series. So I hope people come back and check it out. Who's writing X of Swords or 10 of Swords? That is Hickman. So I don't know if he's writing every single issue, but he's overall in charge, I think.
Can I tell you a secret? And I was a big fan of the DC metal stuff. This new heavy metal, I'm very confused as to when these issues come out, because I got the first 2, and then they used to have like this neat little cheat sheet to tell you when all the issues were coming out, but they keep adding more one-shots, and I'm so confused. I don't have no idea what's happening with DC heavy metal, and I think there's more stuff happening in December.
Yeah, we did order a whole bunch of new one shots coming out that are introducing new bad guys and in one shots for like like the new Robin character and stuff like that. It's actually kind of hard to keep up. But they are going all in for this metal line. I feel like it definitely is becoming its own universe.
Well, and that actually reminds me something we forgot to talk about. Mark Waid. I think he's writing one of these one shots in December, and that means Waid is back in DC in December, around the same time that Bendis is leaving Superman.
But also the same time your boy is leaving Flash, right? Mark and Waid is an old time Flash writer, right?
And he's never. Am I correct in saying I don't think he's ever had a run on Superman though, has he?
I'm the wrong person to ask, but I don't recall seeing his name.
Andre, you on the line?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing his name associated with
Superman. But we know he was with Flash. He had that really long run on the Flash, right? So
yeah, which was good run, I believe.
Yeah. So that's it. So yeah, I mean the podcast comes out tomorrow. Like John had said, we're talking all about DC Fandom Part 2. And listen, whether you saw it or not, definitely give us a listen. We talk about whether it should have just been one big event or was splitting it up into two pieces the correct thing to do. What was some of the information that came out? I know that, some of the guys who are following us right now and who are commenting have previously commented on the Arrowverse shows and so on and so forth. So you guys are going to find it pretty interesting to see what information came out from this past weekend with DC. So that's tomorrow. It's on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, everything. We hope you guys are subscribing and getting the notifications as soon as the new episodes are dropping. We'd love to get the feedback as well. We love the comments. So please leave us a comment, even if it's, questioning, Stu's beard. Just leave us those comments.
Stu's beard is crazy amazing now. Look, think of how long he's kept that thing up and has not taken into the temptation of just going. Like I commend him for it.
So you know what I would like you to do, if possible? I would like to get a photo of recent of Stu's beard next to Treebeard, right, from Lord of the Rings, because I kind of think they kind of have very similar shaped beards going on, and so I think that Stu is destined to become an Ent and just walk the earth. I guess I'm only making.
Hey man, we've been doing the podcast this will be episode 22, so we do have at least 22 images of the beard progression. We have 22 weeks of beard progression, so that's kind of funny. We should definitely put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely mirror universe.
Reverse too.
Yeah. I just forget that. This is exactly what I was saying. We have those. They all exist, so it's funny.
Cool. So, anything else, John?
No, I think we're good. Unless we got any other questions. We talked about the podcast. We talked about everything. Yeah, new stuff coming out. We talked about the hot new news. But we definitely want to hear from people. We are always looking for topic ideas. So whatever you guys want to hear about. You want to hear about more video games. You want to hear about more of the news that's happening. You want deep dives into Cobra Kai season 1 and 2, or you want a Bill and Ted review, or do you guys still want to see Umbrella Academy? I know I've been holding this up, but if you guys still want to see Umbrella Academy reactions, or if you guys want to hop on live and talk about Umbrella Academy, we can definitely invite everyone who's watched the whole thing.
Yeah. I've only watched a few episodes of the first season of Cobra Kai, and I stopped not because I don't like it. It's just because I'm right now really hooked on Bosch. So I stopped with Cobra Kai. But yeah, it is really, really good. And I did see Bill and Ted's, which is I'm mixed. I'll put it that way.
So you would recommend it or not recommend it?
I'd recommend it. You got to watch it. You have to watch it. It's much better than both.
I believe Stu also recommended it. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my to-do list.
You'll never get to it, but okay.
I'll get to it.
Scott says Umbrella. I know that Scott loved Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people want to see Umbrella. So as long as you guys don't think we're too late to the party, we would love to do maybe a live show where we can get our favorite moments from seasons 1 and 2, and talk about, maybe pick out our favorite characters or gripes for the show. And if you guys want to hop on and talk to us with it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I know you've seen it all. Scott's seen it all.
Well,
Tim is hardcore into it.
Oh yeah, Tim is Umbrella Academy like disciple. Yeah.
And we have the comics available too. We have the first 3 volumes of the trade paperbacks available. We could do a comic book comparison if people want to see that. They're actually dropping a new title this week. I forgot what it was called, but there's a new miniseries coming out as well.
And it was much better idea than what you originally had pitched to me, which was, hey, let's review Orange is the New Black season 1. And I was like, wait, no. First of all,
wasn't that a good? Hey, stop making things up. But that was a big deal when it came out, wasn't it?
It was. I
have seen some of it.
I enjoyed the first season, and then I think there's the last 2 seasons I just didn't watch because I lost interest. Same with House of Cards. I loved House of Cards, and then Kevin Spacey went and screwed everything up. So I didn't watch the last season.
Allegedly.
Allegedly screwed everything up. So I did.
Allegedly did some things, and
I didn't say what he did. I just said he screwed things up. That's all I said. So I didn't get to see the last season of House of Cards. But yeah, I'd be down for Umbrella Academy rewatch. Sure, why not? You know what? Listen, man, I wish you could dedicate time to watch Dark. I love Dark. It's so good. It's 3 seasons, 26 episodes overall. It's German though. You can watch it when it's been dubbed. I always recommend watching it in its native German. Just have the subtitles on. It's so good. I know that Scott was watching Dark. I don't know if he finished it or not, but I'm telling you, everybody out there, you have to watch Dark on Netflix. It's only 3 seasons. It's not like it continues. That's it. 3 seasons. The story was done. They completed it. It's phenomenal. Do it.
I'll consider it.
Which
I've got a whole back catalog. Oh yeah, see, Scott says he's on season 1 still.
Scott started it back in June. There is no reason as to why he's still on season 1.
or is there a reason why he's on season 1?
I don't know. Whatever, man. John, it's always good catching up with you, bud. It's always good seeing you.
Yes, thank you.
I wish it's we are in the second week of September, second full week of September, I guess.
Yeah.
And it is crazy out there. I don't know where. I'm assuming we have a lot of GTA residents tuning in right now, but I feel for everybody who has kids going back to school, and whichever board you're in, I'm right there with you. Please be safe. Do what you can. I don't want to see things regress, but if anybody's parents out there, I'm with you. I'm feeling the stress that you guys are feeling too. So, Scott is on the Jon Ho watch schedule.
Exactly. Well, we gotta fit it in where we can.
that means you are just moving from VHS to DVD. So yeah, be healthy, bud. Be safe.
Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. So we were on Facebook and YouTube. So I guess comment wherever you were commenting, and let us know which feed you liked.
Wait a minute. Look at Lewis just said.
What?
I'm not going to bother with Cobra Kai.
Hey, get out of here, Lewis. You gotta give it a try. Oh, sorry, my thing moved. Yeah, here we go. Here's this blasphemous comment. Try a couple episodes. This show has zero business being this good. Like the amount of time and care that they have put into this show, and the writing and the thought behind it, they definitely deserve you to at least try an episode or 2.
You know what, John, you just said it perfectly. I thought this was going to be just a really bad retread of a great classic 1980s movie, 1984 Karate Kid. I thought they were just milking it because of nostalgia, and it is something completely different and yet still exists within that world, and I am loving it. It's so good. So you're right. It has no business being this good, and yet it is.
No, it totally could have been like a throwaway, but yeah. Okay, so we're going a little too long here. So I'm saying watch Cobra Kai. Rob's saying watch Dark. And let us know. So far, we're hearing that you guys want to see Umbrella Academy, but if you guys want to hear about The Boys, or Bosch,
or what comics? Get your comics. Read them.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Everybody.
We'll catch you on the next time. Thank you again, Rob.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Podcast tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow podcast 9 a.m. It'll be up on YouTube, and it'll release sometime tonight on audio formats and be ready for you in the morning.
Cool. Put it in your ears. Listen to it. Yes.